So in your company, basically you accompany your customers through the design and development and industrialization of the products, right? So does it happen that people come to you and say, hey, here's the design, I've already done a lot of the work, I just need you to sort of help me with the last touches, right? Does it happen?
Absolutely. I think one of the most common things that we hear from new startups and people who are new to the process of manufacturing is, hey guys, we're 80% of the way there, we just need someone's help to find a factory and oversee production. And of course, our reaction to that is great, let's see what you have. So we want to see your prototype, your PRD, your tech files. And 99% of the time, they can give us a prototype and then something like, this is pretty much what we want, but we need it to be more like this, and we don't have the files because someone else designed it, but this works. That's the most typical mistake that we see from people who are eager to get to production. The process is set out for a reason, and the process works. And I've seen, and I've tried in my in years with different products, I've tried to help people to get to the end result faster. But ultimately, the process needs to be followed, without sounding like it's a very strict, cumbersome process. It's something that does need to be followed. I have one example where a company came to us with a prototype that worked reasonably well, and they wanted to launch it for their Christmas. And we told them that like this is not fully designed. There's a PD phase that needs to be complete, and then there's an MPA phase, and then we can go to production. And they insisted, and they went direct to the factory, and the factory said okay. So they missed the first Christmas launch. Then they went into the next year, and they built their prototypes, and they were almost ready to go, but because they hadn't done their material planning properly and their material selection properly, their key component, which was a camera module, went end of life. So then they needed a new camera module, which means a new redesign and a new PD, a new NPI, and they ended up missing their second Christmas with the same product. So that company obviously doesn't exist anymore. Had they said at the very start, we're not experts, we want to follow someone's process, they would have missed that Christmas, but it would have launched 3-4 months later. But as a result of following a process that they thought would get them to production faster, 18 months later they just went out of business.